Hey, y'all. Welcome to Fearless Friday with Coach Sammy Love. Oh, my goodness. I pray you guys have had an amazing week. Oh, my goodness. I truly believe that this has been a wonderful week for me. Yes, it was some struggles this week, but guess what? I made it to Friday. God has allowed me to overcome what tried to come against me. I pray that's your prayer too, that you still overcame what tried to stop you or hinder you on this week. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to even just jump into this topic on this Friday. For those who do not know me, I am a certified life coach. I come every Friday with an empowering word, encouraging word, right? To push you forward. I call it Fearless Friday. Why? Because I feel like if we are believers in Christ, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind, because that's what his word says. So we should be fearless. So this is where I come every Friday just to bring you an encouraging word. I come on every second and fourth Saturday, so that will be tomorrow. That I will bring you What's the Coffee, where we do morning moments with God, whether you grab your coffee cup, whether you grab your tea, whatever you like your beverage in the morning, hot beverage. We are studying through not studying, but I am bringing you some word from the book of Psalms. So I look forward to that. So set your alerts so that you can don't miss out. And actually too, if you're not subscribed to my channel, I want to encourage you, right? I want to encourage you to go and subscribe to my channel, set your alerts so you can know when I go live. Okay, you don't want to miss this because I come with some nuggets, right? So I'm excited. Oh my goodness, I'm also excited. I haven't shared the flyer yet, but I have two things coming up for the new year. So January the 10th, set your calendars. Set your calendars, right? September the 10th, I will be releasing the flyer soon. I am doing a free webinar, right? It is for goals. Every year, I try to start off with a goal webinar. And this January the 10th, 2026, I will be doing a Go webinar on Zoom, but you will have to register. And I'm excited about that to help you get your year started off right. And then February, February. I haven't picked the date yet. I will be doing my first boot camp for 2026. My last two were so successful. For 2025, I thank all those who went through my coaching program and came out on the other side, that lasted to the end, starting in February. If you want to be in the group, you're going to have to register. I will be posting that stuff soon so that you can be able to purchase those seats, be in the house for that 12-week coaching workshop. And like I said, that will be in February, and then my free webinar will be in January. So be on the lookout for those flyers. I'm already planning for 2026. I hope you're planning already. Oh my goodness, I'm excited about what God is going to do even into this year and even going into the new year. So that's my announcements that I have for today. I don't want to hold you guys long. I'm excited, you guys. Did you see the title? Did you see my title today? I know you guys, I get loud sometimes. Did you see my title today? Oh my goodness. Today, I am going to give you some keys to living a disciplined life. You saw my title. It says discipline over motivation. And I remember when I first understood that this summer, y'all, and it just shook me to the core. Why? Because a lot of us, we're just waiting to get motivated before we start something, or we need motivation to finish something. And discipline over motivation means motivation. This is what I posted this a few months ago. I said, motivation will get you there, but discipline will keep you there. Oh, I'm going to say that again because that was a nugget. Motivation will get you there, but discipline will keep you there. So today I'm talking about discipline over motivation, because it's one thing to be motivated, but it's another thing to be disciplined. So some of us is motivated, but we're not disciplined. And that's why we don't finish what we start, right? We're afraid to start new stuff because we're tired of not finishing what we start. So if you become disciplined, even when you're not motivated, you're going to do it. Why? Because you're disciplined. Mm. And then in that, you have to continue to do something for so long. So therefore it become a habit and you become disciplined in that area. And once you become disciplined in that area, you don't even have to think about doing it. Even when you don't want to do it, you're going to do it. Why? Because I'm disciplined. My body is used to doing it. That's just like with exercising. There comes to a point where you don't want to go to the gym. But if you have been building up that discipline, then even when you don't want to go, you go. Why? Because you have disciplined yourself. So I'm going to give you some keys on today on living a life disciplined and not just a life of being motivated. Because some of us are waiting, like I said before, to get motivated before we even get started. I want to tell you on today. Write this down. I want to tell you on today. Start it anyway. Do it anyway, even if you're not motivated. Because what if the motivation never come? But you know what God has called you to do. Oh my goodness. Stop waiting for a feeling for you to get out and do the assignment that God has called you to do. Stop waiting for a feeling for you to get out and build what God has called you to build. Stop waiting for the motivation for you to get out and grow in the areas you need to grow in. So I'm just going to encourage you on today. Stop waiting for the motivation and just go ahead and do it. So I'm going to give you some keys. Let me tell you guys, I got 10 keys, but I'm not giving y'all 10 keys today. I'm giving y'all 5. Because if you want the 10, you won't have to attend my Victorious Life boot camp to get the rest of the 5. So today, you guys, I will give you 5. I am going to give you 5 keys to living a life of discipline over motivation. So let's talk about it, guys. What is motivation? Motivation is a feeling, and feelings fluctuate. I'm going to say that again. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings fluctuate. That's why I said sometimes we're waiting for a feeling to get out and do what God has called us to do. And our feelings are up and down. Today I feel like it, tomorrow I don't, right? Today I'm happy, tomorrow I'm sad. Today I got the energy, tomorrow I don't have the energy. So you see how your feelings go up and down, up and down. And if you're waiting for your feelings to change, that means you will be up and down. That's why you start and don't finish. Start and don't finish. Why? Because you are moving and building according to your feelings. That's the problem. That was a nugget. Discipline. Discipline is a decision. And decisions build a lifestyle. I'm going to say that again. Discipline is a decision. And decisions build a lifestyle. You see how motivation is according to your feelings. Discipline is a decision. Oh my goodness. See, it's making the decision in spite of what I feel. That's why I can't wait to feel motivated in order to do what God has called me to do. I have to make within myself the decision that I'm going to get up and do what God has called me to do. That's the key point. I need to make a decision. So that's what discipline is. I have made a decision to lose weight. I have made a decision to get healthy. I have made a decision to do the assignment God has called me to do. I have made a decision to write this book. I have made a decision to build this business. See, it's this decision. And then I become disciplined and not motivated. Now, motivating may get you started, like I said, but it won't keep you. He'll get you there, but it won't keep you. Because some days you're not going to want to. But if you're moving according to your feelings, then you won't do it. But if you have a disciplined life, you're going to do it when you don't want to. Oh, my goodness. So, give me some keys, Coach Sammy Love. You got to know your why. I always talk about this in my coaching groups, y'all. What is your why? And your why has to be bigger than your excuses. Your vision has to be bigger than your excuses. And if your vision is bigger than your excuses, which is your why, then what happens is even when you don't feel like doing it, you're going to do it. Why? Because you're going to remember your why. So that's number 1. What is your why? You have to know your why. You have to know your why. Who does this affect? Me making this decision, me being consistent, me continue to show up, me being disciplined in this area. Who does this affect? Who does this affect? Because a lot of us don't really, I believe, really consciously think how our decisions is connected to other people, especially if you're a wife, if you are a mother, if you are a leader, your decisions affect other people. So what is your why? What is your why? Your why will become your anchor that holds you steady when the motivation disappears. I'm going to say that again. Your why will hold you steady when your motivation disappears. So that's number one, your why. Your why. What is your why? Oh my goodness. What is your why? I'm going to say that again. Wait. I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. And then number two, start small. You hear me talk about this a lot on my lives, but it's very important. Start small. Start small. Build small habits. If you're building small habits, what happens? Then what happens is you begin to build bigger things. And over time, as you see those small habits and you're keeping them, it gets you excited, encourages you, and now you start adding on big things. So small habits. So you may say, Coach Sammy, what does that look like? If I am going to start with small habits so that I can get disciplined in certain areas of my life, what does that look like, Coach Sammy? So I'm going to say if you want to get more in journaling, right? Say I want to start journaling more. I would say, okay, I'm going to journal tonight for 10 minutes. Make it a habit. Every Monday and Wednesday at night, I'm a journal for 10 minutes, right? So then you begin the habit. 10 minutes is what you're aiming for. I always tell people, aim for what you set on your paper. But if you go higher than that, good, congratulations. You super exceeded the expectation. But 10 minutes is a small habit. It's small. Oh my goodness. 15 minutes of studying or planning. If you want to do better with studying, if you want to do better with planning, I want to get more discipline in that area, Coach Sammy. Okay, so then 15 minutes. Delegate 15 minutes to planning. Delegate 15 minutes to studying. But choose the days that you're going to do it and then write it down and hold yourself accountable to that, right? And then have somebody else that holds you accountable to that. That was going to be my third one. Get somebody that holds you accountable. You need somebody that's going to hold you accountable to what you said out your mouth. That's number three. Somebody that's going to hold you accountable. That they're going to remind you, I thought you said this, I thought you said that. And they will hold you accountable to what you said. Wow. Being consistent. Being consistent. Sometimes success can look like repetition. It's like, oh my goodness, I just keep doing the same thing over and over again. But that's being consistent. Oh my goodness. And sometimes being consistent can get boring. Sometimes inconsistent can get boring. And I truly believe that's why sometimes people give up. But that leads you right back to your why. You got to remember why you're doing this. Yes, it may get boring doing the same thing over and over again, but just believe that as you're doing it over and over again, things are turning around, things are changing, things are going forth. You have to believe that even when it seems like it's boring. Oh, I'm being consistent and it's just boring. Just remember, when you're being consistent in something, I wrote this here, you will not always feel inspired. You won't always see fast results. You won't always be praised. And you won't always be excited. But when you are disciplined, you will continue to do it in spite of those things. So here I am talking to you guys on today. Hey, Maya, I'm talking to you guys on being disciplined over motivation and how motivation will get you there, but it won't keep you. But discipline will. So that was number 3, y'all. So when you're learning to be disciplined and you're trying to be structured in your life, another thing you have to do, you guys, this will be number 4, remove temptations or triggers. Discipline grows when obstacles shrink. Ooh, that's a nugget. Discipline grows when obstacles shrink. So what does that look like, Coach Sammy? What does that look like, Coach Sammy? You telling me I need to get rid of my temptations. I need to get rid of my triggers when I'm trying to get myself disciplined in certain areas because motivation is not going to keep me, Coach Sammy. So what does that look like? Number one, put the phone in another room. When you are trying to get disciplined in prayer, when you're trying to get disciplined in studying, when you're trying to get disciplined even doing schoolwork, building your business, you're trying to get disciplined in certain areas, you have to remove those things that will draw your attention away from what you're trying to get disciplined in at that time. When you're trying to grow in that area, you need to remove the distractions. You need to remove the triggers. You need to remove the temptations. Why? Because if my phone there, I know me. And if I'm trying to study and my phone get to ring it, I'm going to pick my phone up. If I'm trying to pray and my phone gets to ring it, then I'm going to be wondering who calling me. Maybe it's an emergency. So what you have to do is you have to remove those things. Use timers for focus. So maybe you need to set a timer. Maybe you need to say, okay, tonight I'm going to journal for 15 minutes. I'm going to set my timer. There's nothing wrong, you guys, with setting a timer. I'm going to pray for an hour tonight. I'm going to spend an hour with God. I'm going to set my timer. Right? And I'm not getting out of prayer until that timer. Now, if I go past my timer, okay, but I will not come from in his presence. I will not leave his space before that time. There's nothing wrong with a timer so that you can remain focused. Limit people who drain your boundaries. We talked about it a few weeks ago about healthy boundaries. So when we're talking about removing temptation, we're talking about removing triggers when you're trying to get disciplined in a certain area, there are even some people you may have to remove. Why? Because every time I hang out with them, I end up doing things that I don't want to do, or end up doing things that I shouldn't have done, or maybe they call me and now I put my homework down and now I'm at the mall, or now I'm here and now I'm there and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Right? So you have to be able to remove triggers and temptations and things that will try to pull you away from what you're trying to get disciplined in. Yes, you may say, "Whoa, Sammy, this sounds hard," but how bad do you want it? That's why I said at the beginning, you have to remember your why. And because your why is what anchors you, the vision you have and of the why is what anchors you, and you have to remain consistent. Yes, it's work. But let me tell you guys, after you do it for so long, it becomes a habit. It's no longer work. It don't feel like work. Self-discipline, this is number 4 or 5. I don't know, y'all. Self-discipline is self-love. Oh, yeah, we talking about discipline on today. Self-discipline is self-love. I want you guys to look at self-discipline different. I want you to see it like this. See it as protection. See it as stewardship. Oh my goodness, that's a good one. See self-discipline as stewardship. I am stewarding what God has placed inside of me. I am stewarding what God has called me to build. I am stewarding the things that God has given me. See, that's where we hold ourselves accountable and allow somebody else to hold us accountable because it's stewardship. How are you stewarding your time? Oh my goodness, nobody don't want to hear about that. How are you storing your time? We talk about being good stewards over our money, but how are you storing the time that God has given you? How are you storing the gift that God has given you? How are you storing the things that God has placed in your hand for you to multiply? How are you storing them? See, that all goes in with self-discipline. So stop looking at it as a task. Oh my goodness, I got to do this and I got to do that. Look at it as stewardship. I am stewarding the plans and the purpose that God has placed inside of me. I'm just a steward of it. And how does my stewardship look? Because God is going to hold me accountable. Look at self-discipline as self-respect. Look at it as honoring their calling, honoring your calling, honoring what God has called you to do, honoring what God has called you to build, honoring your Father in heaven. Look at it as training your spirit. I'm training myself. I'm training me. That's what self-discipline is, training me. Why? So then my flesh won't lead me. My flesh, because the flesh wants to do whatever it wants to do. So of course, when you sit down and study, the flesh will be like, "Oh, I'm sleepy." Or you sit down to to work on the business, "Oh, you tired." Right? So you have to be able to discipline your flesh. I got to bring my flesh under subjection to the spirit of the Most High God. And so you got to really be like, okay, I need to get disciplined. I'm helping you guys before you even go into 2026 so that you go into 2026 with discipline on your mind, reminding yourself that motivation will get me there, but discipline will keep me. So therefore, now you can start getting yourself together in the area of being disciplined. So when you go into 2026, you're already ready and you already have been equipping yourself to be disciplined in the areas where you know you need to grow and get stronger. That's what it is. By at the end of the day, it's about growing in the areas, right, that we know we need to grow in. I need discipline. Why? Because if I don't discipline myself, then I will not do it. I said to you guys at the beginning of this video, motivation is according to your feelings. Discipline is according to your decision. And a lot of us need to make a decision. Stop moving off of motivation. Stop moving off of feelings, but move off of decisions and allow the Holy Spirit to lead us, not motivation. Yes, I was motivated. Yes, my feelings. Yes, but I need something that's going to sustain me longer. And I'm trying to tell you guys what's going to sustain you longer. Oh my goodness, I pray I'm helping you guys on today. It's discipline. Discipline is what is going to sustain you longer, not motivation. Motivation will disappear. Some days you're going to feel like doing it. Some days you're not going to feel like doing it. It's all your feelings. It's all over the place. That's why the Bible says we walk by faith. They don't say we walk by feelings. Why? Because sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you feel okay, sometimes you don't feel okay. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad. That's feelings. Feelings. Feelings are up and down. Feelings. That's why the enemy play in our feelings. Why? Because the feelings is all over the place. But discipline, discipline. I said it earlier. Discipline. It what keeps you there. Discipline is what keeps you going. Why? Because even when I don't feel like doing it, because I'm disciplined in that area, I remain in that area doing what I've called to do, even when I don't want to do it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I want to encourage you guys today. I want to encourage you guys, if you like Sammy, I need to grow in discipline. My discipline is off. I need to go in the new year disciplined in certain areas that I know I need to grow in on today. I need to be more disciplined. I want you to pray to God and ask him for discipline. Yeah, you can ask the Father, say, Lord, I need to be more disciplined. Help me to be more disciplined. Lord, help me to be more focused. Lord, give me self-control. Lord, help me to be consistent. Lord, let me be in alignment with the purpose you have for my life. See, those are the prayers we need to be praying, and God will give us the strength to do it. I'm telling you, if you ask him for the things, he'll get you right in line. And he will remind you when you're not focused, you're not focused. I thought you said you wanted to be disciplined. God will do that for you. So I pray this encouraged you. Discipline over motivation. Living a life of discipline. It's not about religion. It's not about do's and don'ts. It's just a life where you have order in your life, that you are in order, that you are moving in a life that you're not moving according to your feelings, according to your flesh, but you live a life that is disciplined. Oh my goodness. Do you know how much fruit you will bear living a disciplined life? Because it's one thing to enter a storm, but it's another thing to withstand the storm. See, because you can enter a storm and you don't withstand it and everything falls apart. But it's another thing to enter the storm, and when you come out on the other side, you come out better than when you went in. You come out with more tools. See, because a lot of us, because we're not disciplined, when we enter a storm, everything falls away from us. We don't pray no more. We're not studying no more. We ain't going to work. Why? Because we were never disciplined. But if we are disciplined and we enter the storm, guess what? When I come out on the other side, I am greater than I went in. And you may say, oh my God, I'm excited, y'all. You may say, well, Coach Sammy, how would I be better before I went in the storm than how do I be better after I come out the storm? And I would tell you this, because a lot of us, because we have discipline, when we go in the storm, we continue to do what God has called us to do. Let that sit for a minute. that even in the midst of a storm, we're still building. Even in the midst of a storm, we're still praying. Even in the midst of a storm, we're still praising and worshiping. Even in the midst of the storm, we're still building our business. Even in the midst of a storm, we're still exercising. Even in the midst of a storm, we're still eating healthy. Even in the midst of a storm, we're still writing a book. Even in the midst of a storm. So you see the discipline. See, motivation. If you go into the storm and all you was motivated, guess what happened? You lose all kind of motivation. Why? Because the storm comes against me. I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time for that. But when you are disciplined and you go into the storm, what happens is you continue to work even in the midst of calamity. I hope that blessed you on today. I hope this has blessed you on today. And I thank you guys for joining me for Fearless Friday. Oh my goodness. I pray you guys leave fearless. Like I said, when you come in, hit that like button. If you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure you go and subscribe to my channel. Yes. And I thank you guys. I thank you guys. I thank you guys. Have an amazing weekend. Bye-bye.